Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, so you can join our tech family. If it is informative to you, please like our video, share it with your friends so they can get help with these video, and don't forget to press all notification bell icon so you get regular update and don't miss any single video. Hello everyone, welcome to cybersecurity playlist. Before we begin, get ready with your pen and paper to answer these questions. 1. After running an map scan of a system, you receive scan data that indicates the following 3 ports are open: 22/TCP, 443/TCP, 1521/TCP. What services commonly run on these ports? A. SMTP, NetBIOS, MySQL BSSH, Microsoft DS, WinCSSH, HTTPS, Oracle DFTP, HTTPS, MS SQL 2. Which of the following tools is best suited to querying data provided by organizations like the American Registry? A. Map, B. Traceroute, C. Rigmon Dehoy 3. What type of system allows attackers to believe they have succeeded with their attack, thus providing defenders with information about their attack methods and tools? A. A honeypot, B. A sinkhole, C. A crackpot, D. A darknet 4. What cybersecurity objective could be achieved by running your organization's web servers in redundant, geographically separate data centers? A. Confidentiality, B. Integrity, C. Immutability, D. Availability 5. Which of the following vulnerability scanning methods will provide the most accurate detail during a scan? A. Black box, B. Authenticated, C. Internal view, D. External view. 6. In early 2017, a flaw was discovered in the Chakra JavaScript scripting engine in Microsoft's Edge browser that execution or denial of service via a specifically crafted website. The CVSS 3.0 score for this reads CVSS 3.0/AVN/ACH/PRN/UIR/SU/CH/IH/AH. What is the attack vector and the impact to integrity based on this rating? A. System, 9, 8. B. Browser, high C. Network, high D. None, high 7. Alice is a security engineer tasked with performing vulnerability scans for her organization. She encounters a false positive error in one of her scans. What should she do about this? A. Verify that it is a false positive, and then document the exception. B. Implement a workaround. C. Update the vulnerability scanner. D. Use an authenticated scan, and then document vulnerability. 8. Which phase of the incident response process is most likely to include gathering additional evidence such as information that would support legal action? A. Preparation, B. Detection and analysis, C. Containment, eradication, and recovery, D. Post-incident activity and reporting. 9. Which of the following descriptions explains an integrity loss? A. Systems were taken offline, resulting in a loss of business income. B. Sensitive or proprietary information was changed or deleted. C. Protected information was accessed or exfiltrated. D. Sensitive personally identifiable information was accessed or exfiltrated. 10. Which of the following techniques is an example of active monitoring? A. Ping, B. RMON, C. NetFlows, D. A network tap. 11. BENS monitoring detects regular traffic, a system that is suspected to be compromised and participating in a botnet to a set of remote IP addresses. What is this called? A. Anomalous pings, B. Probing, C. Zombie chatter, D. Beaconing. 12. Which of the following tools is not useful for monitoring memory usage in Linux? A. DFB top, C. PSD free. 13. Which of the following tools cannot be used to make a forensic disk image? A. Scopy, B. FTK/CDDD in case 14. During a forensic investigation, Shelly is told to look for information in slack space on the drive. Where should she look, and what is she likely to find? A. She should look at unallocated space, and she is likely to find file fragments from deleted files. B. She should look at unused space where files were deleted, and she is likely to find complete files hidden there, the individual being investigated. C. She should look in the space reserved on the drive for spare blocks, and she is likely to find complete files duplicated there. D. She should look at unused space left when a file is written, and she is likely to find file fragments from deleted files. 15. What type of system is used to contain an attacker to allow them to be monitored? A. A white box. B. A sandbox. C. A network jail. D. A VLAN. 16. Bob's manager has asked him to ensure that a compromised system has been completely purged of the compromise. What is Bob's best course of action? A. Use an antivirus tool to remove any associated malware. B. Use an anti-malware tool to completely scan and clean the system. C. Wipe and rebuild the system. D. Restore a recent backup. 17. What level of secure media as defined by NIST SP 800-88 is best suited to a hard drive from a high-security system that will be reused in the same company by an employee of a different level or job type? A. Clear. B. Purge. C. Destroy. D. Reinstall. 18. Which of the following actions is not a common activity during the recovery phase of an incident response process? A. Reviewing accounts and adding new privileges. B. Validating that only authorized user accounts are on the system. C. Verifying that all systems are logging properly. D. Performing vulnerability scans of all systems. 19. A statement like Windows workstations must have the current security configuration template applied to them before being deployed is most likely to be part of which document? A. Policies. B. Standards. C. Procedures. D. Guidelines. 20. Jim is concerned with complying with the U.S. federal law covering educational records. Which of the following laws is he attempting to comply with? A. HIPAA-BGLBAC SOX. D. FERPA. 21. A fire suppression system is an example of what type of control? A. Logical. B. Physical. C. Administrative. D. Operational. 22. Lauren is concerned that Danielle and Alex are conspiring to use their access to defraud their organization. What personnel control will allow Lauren to review their actions to find any issues? A. Dual control. B. Separation of duties. C. Background checks. D. Cross-training. 23. Joe wants to implement an authentication protocol that is well suited to untrusted networks. Which of the following options is best suited to his needs in its default state? A. Kerberos. B. Radius. C. LDAP. D. TACOX plus 24. Which software life cycle model uses linear development concepts in an iterative, four-phase process? A. Waterfall. B. Agile. C. RAD. D. Spiral. Answer. Test 1C. These three TCP ports are associated with SSH, 22, HTTPS, 443, and Oracle databases, 1521. Other ports mentioned in the potential answers are SMTP, 25, NetBIOS, 137 to 139, MySQL, 3306, Wins, 1512, FTP, 20 and 21, and MS SQL, 1433/1434. 2D regional internet registries are best queried either via their websites or using tools like HOI. Map is a useful port scanning utility. Traceroute is used for testing the path packets take to a remote system, and Rigmon is an outdated Windows registry tool that has been supplanted by Process Monitor. 3A honeypots are systems that are designed to look like attractive targets. When they are attacked, they simulate a compromise, providing defenders with a chance to see how attackers operate and what tools they use. DNS sinkholes provide false information to malicious software, redirecting queries about command and control systems to allow remediation. Darknets are segments of unused network space that are monitored to detect traffic since legitimate traffic should never be aimed at the darknet. This can be used to detect attacks and other unwanted traffic. Pots are eccentric people, not a system you'll run into on a network. 4D redundant systems, particularly when run in multiple locations and with other protections to ensure uptime, can help provide availability. 5B. An authenticated, or credentialed, scan provides the most detailed view of the system. Black box assessments presume no knowledge of a system and would not have credentials or an agent to work with on the system. Internal views typically provide more detail than external views, but neither provides the same level of detail that credentials can allow. 6C. When reading the CVSS 3.0 score, AV is the attack vector. Here, N means network. Confidentiality, C, integrity, I, and availability, A, are listed at the end of the line, and all three are rated as high in the CVSS rating. 7A. When Alice encounters a false positive error in her scans, her first action should be to verify it. This may involve running a more in-depth scan like an authenticated scan, but could also involve getting assistance from system administrators, checking documentation, or other validation actions. Once she is done, she should document the exception so that it is properly tracked. Implementing a workaround is not necessary for false positive vulnerabilities, and updating the scanner should be done before every vulnerability scan. Using an authenticated scan might help but does not cover all of the possibilities for validation she may need to use. 8C. The containment, eradication, and recovery phase of an incident includes steps to limit, document what occurred, including potentially identifying the attacker and tools used for the attack. This means that information useful to legal actions is most likely to be gathered during this phase. 9B. Integrity breaches involve data being modified or deleted. Systems being taken offline is an availability issue. Protected information being accessed might be classified as a breach of proprietary information, and sensitive personally identifiable information breaches would typically be classified as privacy breaches. 10C. Active monitoring sends traffic like pings to remote devices as part of the monitoring process. RMON and NetFlows are both examples of router-based monitoring, whereas network taps allow passive monitoring. 11C. Regular traffic from compromised systems to command and control nodes is known as beaconing. Anomalous pings could describe unexpected pings, but they are not typically part of botnet behavior. Zombie chatter is a made-up term, and probing is part of scanning behavior in some cases. 12C. The df command is used to show the amount of free and used disk space. Each of the other commands can show information about memory usage in Linux. 13A. FTK, in case, and DD all provide options that support their use for forensic disk image creation. Since Scopy cannot create a bitwise image of a drive, it should not be used to create forensic images. 14D. Slack space is the space left when a file is written. Since the space may have previously been filled by another file, file fragments are likely to exist and be recoverable. Unallocated space is space that has not been could contain data, but looking there isn't part of Shelley's task. The reserved space maintained by drives for wear leveling, for SSDs, or to replace bad blocks, for spinning disks, may contain data, but again, this was not part of her task. 15B. Sandboxes are used to isolate attackers, malicious code, and other untrusted applications. They allow defenders to monitor and study behavior in the sandbox. without exposing systems or networks to potential attacks or compromise. 16c. The most foolproof means of ensuring that a system does not remain compromised is to wipe and rebuild it. Without full knowledge of when the compromise occurred, restoring a backup may not help, and both anti-malware and antivirus software packages cannot always ensure that no remnant of remains, particularly if the attacker created accounts or otherwise made changes that wouldn't be detected as malicious software. 17b NIST SP 800-88 defines 3 levels of action of increasing severity: clear, purge, and destroy. In this case, purging, which uses technical means to make data infeasible to recover, is appropriate for a high-security device. Destruction might be preferable, but the reuse element of the question rules this out. Reinstallation is not an option in the NIST guidelines, and clearing is less secure. 18a. The recovery phase does not typically seek to add new privileges. Validating that only legitimate accounts exist, that the systems are all logging properly, and that systems have been vulnerability scanned are all common parts of an incident response phase. 19b. This statement is most likely to be part of a standard. Policies contain high-level statements of management intent. Standards provide mandatory requirements for how policies are carried out, including statements like that provided in the question. A procedure would include the step-by-step process, and a guideline. Describes a best practice or recommendation. 20d. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, requires educational institutions to implement security and privacy controls for student educational records. HIPAA covers security and privacy for healthcare providers, health insurers, and health information clearinghouses. GLBA covers financial institutions, and SOX applies to financial records of public companies. 21b Fire suppression systems are physical controls. Logical controls are technical controls that enforce confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Administrative controls are procedural controls, and operational controls are not a type of security control as used in security design. 22b Lauren should implement separation of duties in a way that ensures that Danielle and Alex cannot abuse their rights without a third party being involved. This will allow review of their actions and should result in any issues being discovered. 23a Kerberos is designed to run on untrusted networks and encrypts authentication traffic by default. LDAP and Radius can be encrypted but are not necessarily encrypted by default, and LDAP has limitations as an authentication mechanism. It is recommended that TACOX Plus be run only on isolated administrative networks. 24d. The spiral model uses linear development concepts like those used in waterfall but repeats 4 phases through its life cycle: requirements gathering, design, build, and evaluation. We hope you enjoyed the video and found value in the content. We value your feedback. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to post them in the comments section or contact us directly via our social platforms. Thanks for watching.